Shavuot Tov, a good week. We have a really beautiful short Torah here today, and we need to explain it very precisely and understand it because it's a lifetime advice. It's an advice that will change your life. And he begins Torah 107, Likutei Moharan, Ki tetzei lemilchama lo'ovecha, v'shavita shivyo. When you go out to war against your enemy, the Rebbe says your enemy, of course, is the evil inclination that's been planted in us, in our software, since the beginning of creation, since the fall, which meant the inclusion of the will to go against God. So to be a free man, you have to have both wills, to do God's will and to go against it. And that's the war. And you take him captive. Shivita shivio. There's a time in your service and your growth and your expansion and your power and your belief and your inspiration where you actually take the evil one captive. Oh, it sounds like a pretty good day. Unatano Hashem Elokecha b'yagdecha, and he gives the Yetzirah in your hand. He gives you power over him to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to, whatever it is. Klomar Hayetzirah yitain, he will give the evil one. As it is written in another verse, Yimsor, he will give him over to you, et Hashem Elokecha b'yadecha. There is this level where you feel like you've won the war. You feel like you've won the war. And for that moment, you have. For that moment, there's nothing in the universe that can make you go against the will of your inner true, higher sparks, divine self. Nothing. And it feels that way. And you're convinced. Well, Al Derech, he tells us in a way of understanding this, that Tzaddik Moshe B'yirat Elohim, that how does the Tzaddik rule? He doesn't rule with power, not with big words, and not with big money, and not with big weapons. He rules by having awe of Elohim, awe of God. And when other people see his awe and feel it, they're like, they back down. It just happens. There's a whole list of the different things that can happen when you encounter a tzaddik of this level. The list is in an old book called the Hechalot of Rebbe Yishmael. It's awesome. Maybe sometime we should teach it, but it's like, when you read it, you're like, wow, this is like thousands of years ago, maybe today, I don't know, but okay. A lot of people just want to rule Facebook or rule YouTube or rule the media, but that's a different problem. But still, God has given you that blessed moment where the Yetzirah is in your hand and you rule him. You don't listen to him. Notenet Torah Eitzalzeh. Well, what do you do about it after you feel that feeling? You get that power. And you feel strong. And you feel certain you'll never fall again. Ooh. That's when you put on the brakes. The Rebbe says, and the advice is this, Shavita Shivio, Klomar, you took a captive, when the Yetzirah comes to re-attack you, which he will, you have to know that, and it could be any moment, especially when you hit that high of the certitude of your righteousness. That's a good phrase, right? Right? If you get that high, and it's going to come attacking very soon. Don't kid yourself. Don't think you've reached the peak of Everest, spiritual Everest, and there's no going down. No, it gets cold up there at the top. So it comes to attack you, begadlut. How? With the very thought that you're great. See how great I am? I got the Yetzirah in my hand. I control him now. He doesn't make me do the things that I don't want to do, and he doesn't prevent me from doing the things I should do. It works both ways, this evil inclination. If you got something good to do, he's going to try to stop you. If you got something that you shouldn't do, he's going to try to push you. But we have to know where the power is with us, with our true self, with our true higher goodness. 1,000 names you have for your divine spark. Doesn't matter about the name. You can play with that in any religion, anywhere you want on the planet. Every human being's the same. We have a spark of power that is more powerful than any evil. We have to know that and believe that and take it to war with us. Because he's going to come back, but he's not going to come back in a simple way to make you fall into stupid things. He's going to make you fall into great things like you're great. See? All this divine service over all the years is paid off. Now I got the Yetzer Hara in control. That thought itself is the Yetzer Hara. That thought itself is the mistake that he's trying to trip us up with. And how will you overcome him at that moment that you think you're great and that you've achieved and arrived and put your face on the mountainside? How? A very nice advice the Rebbe says. It's so great. It's simple. You say to your evil inclination, speak to him, words, your language. How do I rule anything? How do I rule you, Yetzer Hara? You're an angel, I'm a human being. You've been around a lot longer than me. Well, not really in the root, because God created the souls on the sixth day of creation, but he also created the Yetzer Hara then. So you see there's a little timing issue there. That's 6 days of creation. Of course, each day of creation it depends on how you do the math. It's going to come out a lot longer than 24 hours. But still, the simultaneity, that's a good one. The simultaneity of the creation of man and the evil incarnation are there to teach us something very intimate. But still, you talk to him and you tell him, who am I to rule? Because I have arrogance. A real leader knows his place. He knows he doesn't have the power. The power is given to him. And the power over the Yetzer Hara is given to us. And the power to lead a nation or just lead your house or your business or whatever it is that God gives you to lead, you know you don't have the power. It's given to you. It flows through you and it'll leave you as fast as you get it. How can I rule? Since I have arrogance, I shouldn't be a ruler anyways. God forbid, the worst thing in the world is an arrogant ruler because he misuses his power. And I also go on to tell the Yetzer Hara, God is not with me. Ooh, wait a minute, isn't that like Avram? Don't you normally talk otherwise like God is always with you? It says that God is always with you. We're taught that. In one pocket, the rabbis tell us that we have to have a coin that reminds us that the world was made for me. Well, that doesn't sound arrogant, sure, right? Me, of all the 8 billion people. No. And yes. So that's part of the brilliance of Judaism is we have that duality, those apparent contradictions that actually unify into one solid person that can say, yes, the world was created for me to fix, not created for me to rule. We already have a very good ruler. He's a little bit more seasoned than we are. And all the politicians put together times 10 billion. But when I tell the Yetzer Hara that God is not with me, he leaves you alone. He can't grab you because he can only grab you on the points of your arrogance, where your personality sticks out too far in the street and gets clipped by a passing truck. You know, I love gardening. I was a gardener back in the day on a golf course. So that's even more fun. And, you know, you have these beautiful trees and you want to keep them beautiful. You have to always prune, trim off the excesses of personality. Because those are the arrogances. Well, you can be arrogant about your handsomeness or your strength or your money or your wife or your girlfriends or whatever, you know, madness that we can invent. can be arrogant about it. And those are the very things we need to prune. And we do it by saying, God's not with me. I'm not humble. I have arrogance. I shouldn't rule anybody. And the Yetzer Hara has nothing to hold you with. And you can start your day again from the beginning with your Creator, with your service, with your prayer. I bless you with these things. These things stand at their height of the universe with prayer. Rabbi Nachman was blessed to come at the end of time just to give us these teachings. Thank God. Thank all of you. Thank Hashem. Thank Rabbi Nachman. Have a great week. We'll be in touch.